So, what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed the end of an internship. You missed the moment when we celebrated with Ann Denicio the end of her 8-month internship at Jubilee, and we acknowledged the lay supervision team, those who met with her regularly and reflected with her, and we acknowledged the whole congregation that worked with Ann and opened themselves um, to Anne and into her ministry and gave her the opportunity to reflect and to grow in understanding and in practical technique and just to experience and grow her ministry. And it was an interesting day because even as we recognized and celebrated the end of an internship, a successful internship, we also recognized that she's coming to be with us in full-time ministry in 2 months. So we celebrated and anticipated what's yet to come, and it was a good day. We heard the choir sing a spiritual that, well, it brought tears to my eyes and filled me with joy, and it was powerful. We celebrated communion. We came to the table together with all of creation, with the communion of saints, with friends and strangers, with allies and enemies, with all of God's children in creation. We came to the table and celebrated love that's revealed in vulnerability, that's revealed as we pour ourselves out for others, that's revealed in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. But before we did that, we unlocked a parable, or we wondered about a parable, and invited all of us into some time of godly play. And we opened the box that had a mustard seed, so small we couldn't see it, and so we had to live it out. And masterfully invited us into the story and made us all the mustard seed and its roots and its branches and the tree it becomes and the birds that find their home. And suddenly we were transported, transformed, we were the parable. And then we wondered about what it meant. We wondered about how it felt. We wondered about where this could be true in our lives. And it was in that wonder that the parable became very real for us. A tiny mustard seed that grows to create a home for all the birds. And in the midst of that wonder, I did mention that when a farmer hears that story, it's not always a good story. Mustard takes over fields. Birds finding homes is not really great because they eat your crops. So why would Jesus tell a parable that also seems to have a dark side? And I suggested as we came to the communion table that the kingdom of God is such that if you have figured out what your field's going to look like, and if you are dedicated to your field the way it's going to be, the kingdom of God's going to mess it up. It's going to wreck your field. It's going to change your plans. Unless you decide you want to grow mustard. Unless you decide you want to welcome the birds. And if you do, then it's fantastic. But if you want to keep fighting it, the same way the communion table invites all of us to come, and it seems like a lovely invitation, and then we recognize that all of creation comes to that table. And so the people that we don't like come to that table. The ones who have hurt us come to that table. The ones we have victimized come to that table. And suddenly, we better learn how to grow mustard. We better learn how to open our hearts to be vulnerable and to pour ourselves out for each other and for God's kingdom. So Anne helped us wonder. I made us a little bit afraid. And then we came to the table where it all made sense. So that's what you missed at Jubilee today. I hope we don't miss you much longer. It would be really great to see you. But until we do, think about that mustard seed. Think about those things that grow in your life And think about how your life has changed when you've let God in. Well, we'll talk more later, I hope. Till we see you again. God bless.